Hello and welcome to another episode of AUC Observer. I am your host, Show3. Join us as we cover various topics and events around campus, as well as an exclusive interview with Dr. Wafiq Lutfallah. Stay tuned. The Higher Minister of Education, Dr. Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, opened the 49th National Squash Tournament at the American University in Cairo. He opened with a friendly match against two-time World Junior Squash champion Rami Ashour. More with Mohammed Assam.
The American University in Cairo hosted the 49th National University Squash Tournament in the presence of the Minister of Higher Education, Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, and AUC leaderships. The speech of the minister includes his relationship with AUC as well as a crucial story about his follow-up to the history of two-time World Junior Squash champion رامي عاشور.
من كتر البطولات اللي هو بيتحرك فيها على مستوى العالم وكتر التدريبات عشان يوصل لبطل العالم ويحافظ على انه يبقى نمبر 1 على مستوى العالم كله لازمنه طويله جدا ويبهر الناس كلها. ده محتاج تضحيات ومحتاج تدريبات يعني هو اللي يقدر يحكي لكم عليها.
Moreover, the ceremony comprises a very friendly match between the Minister Khaled Abdel Ghaffar and Rami Ashour through an enthusiastic atmosphere from AUC faculty members and the participants in this competition from diverse universities in Egypt. AUC leaderships talks about the organization of AUC for this national squash tournament.
It's wonderful to be back in the game. After 2 years of suspension because of COVID, being able to compete, being able to help organize activities and tournaments both at AUC on our campus, but also participate in national and international activities and championships is a wonderful thing. Sports is part and parcel, is an essential part of the educational journey of our students, and we're proud of our students, and we're actually very happy that finally we're able to get back to bring normalcy back to our lives and participate in tournaments both on our campus and elsewhere.
Today we're hosting the Minister of Higher Education, who's opening the squash tournaments in the National University Games. We've been hosting the games for 7 years almost, at least 7 years. COVID has hit us very hard at AUC, and right now we are back.
Furthermore, Rami Ashour has a message to the recent squash players.
Isolate whatever happens outside the court from what happens on court, and try to have this firm and determined mindset to get to where you want to be, and work as hard as you can and believe in yourself, which is the most important thing in my opinion, which actually made a lot of difference with me, believing in myself and getting where I want to be, with basically and foremost getting out of your comfort zone. And it's the most annoying thing for human beings generally, but I think that's it's one of the main things which can get you to where you want to be.
This is Mohammed Assam, AUCTV, Cairo.
The Madeleine Lemo Award is an annual literary competition which celebrates and recognizes literary talents of the AUC. Find out more about the winners and their inspiration in this report with Jaida Shukri.
The Madeleine Lemo Literary Award ceremony took place in the Tim Sullivan Lounge at the American University of Cairo on Sunday to recognize the creativity and talent of the students. The annual literary event highlighted works ranging from short fiction to plays and poetry, and celebrated the contributions of the late AUC professor, poet, and women's rights advocate Madeleine Lemo, who fought a brutal battle with cancer. The competition allowed many students a chance to express themselves and explore their talents. For some, it was a chance to revisit and reinvent stories that they have always known and loved, like the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice.
The reason these myths stay in the collective consciousness is because, they resonate with people and there's a universality to it. And right now, people really are in these situations. Like, there's a bunch of refugees from different countries all over the world. And they often have to make these decisions to go back to get people they love out. And I think or part of the reason why Orpheus and Eurydice resonate so much is because, that kind of love really has survived to this day.
The writers credited the pandemic for slowing the world down long enough for them to write the stories they had always wanted to pen. The stories submitted were of different genres, with their writers drawing on different inspirations from family to dreams, and for some, it was music and movies.
I want to say movies. There's this one movie called Interstellar that really has changed my life a little bit, and the compositions of Hans Zimmer that goes along with it. So something that's kind of remarkable about the short story that I wrote for the Madeline in the Mount is that each chapter has a piece of music that you have to listen to while you're reading. And it was mostly compositions by Hans Zimmer.
The event also featured a speech by renowned writer Nisma Yusuf Idris, titled Creativity as an Act of Survival. As one of the judges, Idris had this to say about the submissions.
I was very, very touched and overwhelmed by their over-mature voices. They're very, very mature for their age. But what kind of struck me is the melancholy, the sorrow, you notice. I mean, there wasn't much happiness there. Most of the stories were about isolation, loneliness, unhappiness, not fitting in.
The Madeline Limo competition is set to take place in the spring of 2023, this time accepting Arabic submissions rather than English ones, and will include a judging panel of 3 members. This was Jaida Shukri reporting for AUCTV, Cairo.
The American University in Cairo celebrated Mother's Day. A large bazaar including a variety of products and flowers was part of the event to encourage students to buy gifts for their mothers. More on this with Fatma Al-Khatib.
The American University in Cairo celebrated Mother's Day on the 17th of March at the plaza. This was a part of the feeling of appreciation and gratitude to all our mothers. The event started during the assembly hour and ended at 4 p.m. Organizers played various songs that express our great love towards our mothers.
سعيدة جدا النهارده عيد الأم مبسوطة بالناس كلها. بحب بستنى عيد الأم عشان كل أم وهي طيبة وهي سعيدة وهي بتحب ولادها جدا.
The bazaar included different brands booths that sell various products so students can buy the best gifts for their moms. You can buy clothes, skincare products, laptop bags, accessories, t-shirts, or even flowers.
Rishwel basically means the recycling shuel. The shuel means the sack. We love integrating the material of the sack with other materials in order to come up with a trendy, good-looking product.
Also, it includes different booths for coffee, juice, and food. Photo booths for students and the staff were available that day to save this great moment with printed photos. AUC Student Union distributed flowers, cupcakes, and chocolates for all students and the staff during the assembly hour. Our moms are gifts, and we should celebrate their presence in our life every single moment. Fatma Al-Khatib, AUC TV.
Happy Mother's Day!
AUC's Open Day this year felt so special. It has a lot of activities and excitements, with President Ahmed Al-Dallal there participating with students and enjoying a fun day. More on this with Iman Al-Sayed.
Open Day at AUC is totally different and has various activities and a lot of programs that help school students and their belongs discover the university and the campus life. The preparation of that day is perfectly done, starting from the orientation session in which students can know more about that day, till the campus tour which students can tour the AUC New Cairo campus and engage with the students' leaders and hear from alumni their AUC experience.
AUC book store ده هو بس اللي عنده كوبي رايتس بتاعت ان هو يبرنت روايات نجيب محفوظ الاصليه. As an ambassador, we prepared a special tour for students to make them have a look around the campus and around the AUC, know what will be waiting for them when they come here. And actually it's very amazing and interesting. I love how students are engaging with us and how they are inspired by what AUC does for the buildings and how the system. Actually the day is very organized and we can see many offices here and the preparations, they are very powerful.
And of course, the president of AUC, Ahmed Dalal, all the time is concerned in attending those kind of events. Studying in AUC has a lot of opportunities, choosing from 40 majors, engage in hands-on learning, experience an interesting student life, exploring the study abroad, and many more things. The open day in AUC is rich. People not only can find out everything they need to know about applying to AUC and the requirements that drive in student selection process, but also they can discover student life and know more about the scholarship opportunities and financial aid.
ما وراني كتير من الكليه بقى وفهم يعني حاجات كتيره كنت عايز اشوفها في الكليه شفتها وحاجات كنت بشوفها كده بس صور شفتها بقى فعلا في الحقيقه وكده هبقى عارف اكتر لما اجي كليه هبقى ان شاء الله يعني هبقى عارف اروح فين ولا اعمل ايه.
Everyone's so friendly عامه و they're really helpful يعني حاسه ان انا كده I'm comfortable اكتر وانا في الجامعه دي.
Students and everyone not only enjoy the open day, but also get the information they need to know more about the faculties and the university. Iman Said, AUCTV.
The AUC International Day was an event that included a variation of cultures and allowed for an opportunity of cultural exchange in an entertaining atmosphere. More on this with our reporter, Gehed Abdelrazik.
Give it one more time for all the representation from these lovely countries. Yeah.
The AUC International Day, an event that has been on hiatus for almost 2 years due to the pandemic. And finally, it's back again during this semester of Spring 2022.
Still wear your masks.
The day started by an opening speech for AUC President Ahmed Dalal.
And continue to celebrate one of the distinctive, unique features that enrich our university, and that is obviously its diversity.
Followed by the entrance of all represented countries and their flags, along with playing each country's national anthem. Several countries share the performance on stage, reflecting on their unique cultures such as Spain, Lebanon, and South Africa. Many country representatives wore their national costumes and proudly walked around the event in an atmosphere full of fun, color, and diversity. Also, they shared with us what they're most proud of about their country, speaking their own language.
I just want to say that Libya is a very beautiful country, full of cultural diversity, and Libya is not about just war. Libya بلاد حلوة هلبة وشكرا.
I personally cooked my favorite Tunisian food, just to let people try it and see how it tastes. عسلامة احنا توانسة ونحبوا الماكلة الحارة برشا.
I think this event was very fun. One funny thing about the event was when we got our food, it didn't last up to 2 minutes. So I think people really enjoyed our food. I think it was a nice experience for them. For example, if you're gonna say, how are you? If it's for a guy, you say ya kiki. If it's for a girl, you say ya kiki. and then you answer with Laipia Kalau.
I want to present the food, like the Lipoyan food and the handicraft, which is in our family. يا ريت الكل يكون بيحب حلب مثل ما أنا بحبها.
The day was full of music, entertainment, and most importantly, love. This was Gihad Assam Abduraziq, AUCTV.
AUC partnered with TEDx at Tagamma to host the You Matter event at Basili Auditorium. The event featured highly experienced and accomplished speakers in various fields. More on this with our reporter Noor Bakr.
AUC partnered with TEDx Tagamma to host You Matter event, which is held at Basili Auditorium at the AUC campus. The event had a highly experienced and accomplished speakers in various fields. The TEDx team launched their first conference after a journey of 8 years in Sudan and North Africa. The purpose of organizing the conference was to present a different version of TEDx, befitting the greatness of Egypt and matching the Mother TED conferences in America. The event started with performance singer Sara Gamal, Ahmed Magdi, and Amira Saeed. Speakers from different backgrounds shared their ideas in economics, alongside medicine, engineering, and social development, like Dr. Hussam Ashour, Sweeta Patel, and Ahmed Abdel Ghani.
بجد فخور كمان جدا ان انا بتكلم بعد ناس ما شاء الله عظيمه.
Ali Abdel Rabb al-Nabi, the founder of the Ferris Media Production, talked about feminism and the belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes.
I was proud that I took a step just to say I'm here and I'm doing what I'm believing in. وكمان you are not alone. whether بقى انت راجل او ست مش فارق بصراحة معايا الجندر قوي. انا عارفة ان انا بتعرض لدiscrimination because of I'm a female leader. بس برضو مش هي دي النقطة اللي انا هوقف عنها كده. انا للأسف throughout my journey كان في ولاد بيتعرضوا للأسوأ مني بكتير يعني. بس I'm feeling proud يعني.
شايف ان كل حاجه في الدنيا ممكن تيجي بس بالاستمراريه وبالمجهود زي ما انا النهارده موجود معاكي النهارده.
الايفنت كانت فرصه كويسه ان احنا نشير ثوتس. هو تيدكس كله is all about sharing ideas and thoughts، وهو ده كان الهدف الاساسي. كان في افكار كويسه قوي، كان في ناس عندها personal experiences وافكار كانت worth sharing فعلا. وانا مبسوط ان انا جات لي الفرصه ان انا اشير ايديا ليها علاقه بالماركتنج او ليها علاقه بالمجال اللي انا بشتغل فيه.
في التوك ان هو يعني انا فعلا اكتر حاجه شدتني هو موضوع يو ماتر، ان هو انت مهم، انت الشيء المهم في الايفنت ده. فانا حتى غيرت الاستراتيجي بتاعت البرزنتيشن كلها، وخليت ان البرزنتيشن كلها انه بما انك انت يو ماتر وانا بتكلم عن التكنولوجي، فليتس يوز التكنولوجي ان ا بيتر واي. فحبيت ان هي تبقى البوينتس بتاعتي كلها بوينتس فيها استفاده علشان انت تستفيد، علشان انت فعلا الشيء المهم. ولفت انتباه كمان الناس الاودينس لحاجه مهمه قوي، انه اتمنى ان الديفايسز ما تجيش في وقت من الاوقات وتبقى اهم من الهيومنز.
The event also awarded many talented guests, including the creators of Case 404, the Arab world's first series featuring actors with Down syndrome. This was Noor Bakr from AUCTV.
Join us in indulging the creative cuisines from all over the world on AUC's International Day. More on that with Salma Tariq.
Continue to celebrate one of the distinctive, unique features that enrich our university, and that is obviously its diversity.
International Day has been held at AUC community for more than 25 years. Every spring semester, AUC organizes an International Day to celebrate the diversity of the AUC community. This year's International Day, it begins at 1 p.m. celebrates campus diversity.
It includes students from Brazil, Denmark, Uganda, the United States, and Mexico, as well as several Middle Eastern and North African countries.
On my booth, actually, mostly we have food, traditional Armenian food that was cooked by a very precious Lebanese Armenian woman. Her page on Facebook is Yummy Food, so if you want to order some fresh Armenian food, you are welcome to contact her on Facebook. And also, I'm telling people some interesting facts about Armenia and Armenian cuisine.
It also included a different and variety of cuisines from all these countries.
I really liked how International Day depicted different cultures and how everyone got to show us their favorite dishes and tell us more about their countries. I especially liked Spain. I loved their food, and I think it was very nice to see everything and taste everything.
It was really nice because we made some games with questions from Brazil that people had to answer, like some curiosities or facts or whatever about our cities, states, or touristical places. So the thing was, we had to ask these questions. If the people got it right, we were giving like the sweet or like something salty or the soft drink. And also we had some discount cards that they can buy in the Brazilian shops, this food that they tried here. So it was really fun.
With the annual theatre conference kicking off its second edition, it focuses on independent theatre and opens up a 3-day adventure with various activities. More on this with our reporter, Yusuf Al-Ghannam.
AUC's Theatre Conference kicks off its second edition this year, with the theme focusing on independent marginalized theatre, and gifts its second edition in remembrance to the late Dr. Mahmoud Al-Lousi. The conference features 3 different days full of performances, panels featuring Q&A sessions for interaction, and workshops to acclaim the world of theatre to all who are interested in it. The opening ceremony hosted 8 different theatre experts to voice their concerns when it comes to the definition and expectancy of independent marginalized theatre in Egypt.
So I think that people who are practitioners of theatre in Egypt or who are interested in theatre in Egypt should attend this to learn more about how the theatre is, how in Egypt works, and what are the difficulties, what is happening, and if people are just interested in theatre in general or in the arts, well, it's a good way to get more information and to learn more about the theatre in Egypt.
With the theatre being a massive interest, the conference shows people of all ages interested in expanding their careers and interests in theatre.
I think the conference, not only it's great to hear the problems and how they solve it, but also to make connections, because the theatre field in Egypt is very, very hard. So if we all work together, this may result in something that's way better.
The opening ceremony also hosted the acting and singing group El Warsha to perform many songs and monologues under the multiple themes and topics highlighting wars and occupation in Palestine. With theatre becoming a dying medium, the aim of this conference is to inspire future generations to take interest into the art of theatre. This has been Yusuf Al-Ghannam for AUCTV, Cairo.
Hello and welcome back to AUC Observer. Today we have Dr. Wafiq Lutfallah, Professor and Chair of Mathematics and Actuarial Science Department. Hello, Doctor. How are you?
Hi, Jayta. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I wanted to start off by asking, usually when we talk about mathematics and actuarial science, we think of insurance, but that has changed drastically over the past few years. Where is the research and where is the industry generally heading with mathematics? What are we looking to develop?
Well, I mean, actuarial science is not actually the main applications of math. Math is applied everywhere, applied in economics, it's applied in computer science, it's applied in industrial engineering, It's actually applied in every single field of sciences, like even chemistry and biology and stuff like that. The genome and analyzing the DNAs, etc. All these things are done through math. So it just happens that actually our department has those two parts, but we have actually lots of other applications in math. And I would say the most application in math would be cryptography. This is actually I would say the costly or the expensive, or I would say the high value application, because if you know the right information, you can actually produce lots of money. So, and of course, cryptography is used in wars as well, not just in banking systems, but in intelligence, war, interception, interfering with messages of the enemies, etc. So that's why actually there's lots of funding in cryptography everywhere.
It's actually interesting. I've heard a lot also about its increased use in art and NFTs as a way to sort of mint these items. So there's a multitude of applications that is yet to be uncovered. Yeah. Now you have an impressive resume, and I couldn't help but notice that you have worked with civil engineers and you've taught courses with regards to gaming. How do the mathematics and the numbers mix with games?
Okay, well, games are actually very mathematical. I mean, it doesn't have to be numbers, just analyzing of the moves, because mathematics is not just about numbers. I mean, numbers is part of math, but mathematics is about structures, it's about sets, it's about collections of things, like entities that have rules of how to move them. For example, the Rubik's Cube, the one that you just, this has a math behind it. Actually, there's a theory behind it. Games in general, not just playing, toy games, but games between people, have been used for analyzing markets, different companies, and how do they set the strategies. And of course, we actually have the entertaining games like chess and checker and stuff like that. All these also have underlying math. And you will see that when you actually look at the AI that actually goes into playing games and see how actually the AI is designed, how does the program that actually plays, how it's designed. You can see lots of math in it. And the math, again, is not just about numbers, but it's about logical constructs and rules, etc.
Okay, so the game is partially built on the mathematics, but also the non-playable characters, the ones where you're playing versus the computer, that's also a mathematical algorithm, if you will, that's running in the background.
Right. Actually, there's one that's running in the computer and there's one that's running in your head.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's lots of math in your head as well. Our brain actually has very, very difficult math in it. We actually try to imitate that by what's called neural networks. And so because there's sometimes we actually feel that actually we have to imitate the living creatures into into our programs. And so there's lots of math that actually describes how your brain works, and not just the chemistry and everything, but actually somehow even the abstract concepts on how do you visualize things, etc.
I'm so glad that you brought this up, because for so long we've dealt with computers as ones or zeros, true or false. It's not something that has a scale, whereas when we talk about people, there is a scale. It's not necessarily black or white, there are shades of gray. And from my understanding, you've worked with fuzzy logic, so these outcomes open new possibilities for us. Where does it lead us? Where does fuzzy logic take us?
Okay, well, fuzzy logic has been there for a long time, almost like 50 years. And it's been used for mimicking our controlling things. And fuzzy control actually is used in driving, parking. That actually now you can actually have a self-driving car, and the self-driving car sometimes actually drives much better than we do. In fact, in the future, actually self-driving cars would be everywhere. So people actually would not drive cars unless there's something really urgent or something, but they do not drive. They would not go to drive cars. So fuzzy logic definitely was part of this development. Anything that actually trying to understand qualitative information, fuzzy descriptions of things. Like if you feel that, well, something is good or very good or bad, whatever. So how do you write this down? I mean, do you use numbers? Like good means 0.8 and very good is 0.9, or is like a range of things. And so fuzzy logic actually has been somehow developed to making use of fuzzy information and qualitative descriptions.
And that's great. There are a great number of research applications that we can credit mathematicians for helping us with, ranging from things like cryptography, blockchain. These new ideas, a lot of them have been in research phases for very long times. For production, it takes ages for us to see these innovations go from just research to actually being applied on the real ground. What is the biggest hindrance? What is the biggest thing that is getting in the way of this, of translating these innovations to the real world?
Okay, I would say the biggest one is actually the lack of people that understand several disciplines at the same time. Most people working in the field, they do not work outside of that field. They cannot really understand people outside of their field. And I have seen that, when I actually talked about engineers or talked with engineers, and I discovered that they could not understand my language. I have to actually learn their language, and I have to learn the way that actually they describe things. Sometimes they cannot really phrase the problem. They cannot describe the problem. And so when people actually understand more than one field, like multidisciplinary, they can communicate with each other faster. They can actually translate or transmit the results that they get to other fields quickly. And I would say that this is actually the biggest hindrance to the development of things.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lutfullah, for being here and sharing all these valuable insights. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you, Jada.
And thank you for watching. I have been your host, Jaida Shukri, and we'll see you next time on AUC Observer.